Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Happy Indie Artist webinar. 80% of professional musicians need to have a second job in order to make a living. More than 70% of musicians are reporting experiencing depression, severe anxiety, or panic attacks. Moreover, about half of musicians consider quitting music because it's so tough financially to make a living. And 40% of musicians are playing the concerts without any pay at all. At the same time, the chart metrics tracks more than 1.3 million of new artists in just 1 year. At the same time, around 100,000 new tracks are uploaded to the streaming services and distribution platforms daily. We are really living through the very challenging times for the music industry in a fast-changing world. It may seem very hard to make it in this industry, but at the same time, we all know the musicians who manage to make it. Today, you guys have already made a huge step towards your success in the music career as a musician. And by the end of this session, we will provide you with a very clear roadmap to success and to earn what you deserve. My name is Andrei. Hello, everybody. I'm a musician, the marketer, and the founder of Pitch Perfect Promotions, the music marketing engine that turns your art into a profitable business. I wanted to let my colleagues today and the other speakers on the show to present themselves as well.
Hi, everybody. My name is Anton, and today I'm here to tell you about the news creation and moreover to cover the important topic, how to create the news when nothing is changing, nothing happening.
And we also have John.
Hey, I'm John Bruce. I'm the founder of Stage Dive. We've created a revolutionary platform that I think you'll find very interesting. Can't wait to present it to you.
Amazing. And we have Nenad today with us.
Yeah. Hi, all. I'm International Director of Enter Musician Society. That's a society that to divide what Enter Musician says, it's entrepreneurial musician. And this society teaches musicians how to combine that entrepreneurial part that we all miss and artistic part. So I will be talking about that a bit more.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. I'm very happy to welcome again such an international community today from all over Europe and the United States. Today, we will be talking about the happiness. We will be talking a lot about the happiness of the indie artists, and that's how we called our webinar. So what is it about the path to success and the path to happiness in the music career? And we will start with the mindset, focus, and discipline as a foundation of a healthy musician. And we will have Jerry B, who will join a little bit later to our broadcast, and Nenad, who will be talking about these things, because you cannot really achieve anything in your career in music without the right mindset, focus, and discipline. Thereafter, we will talk about the audience and how do we grow the audience and how do we actually sell more and sell with better margins and get more revenue from the art that you are making, from these beautiful products that you guys are making. And this part will be presented by myself, Andrei, and Anton. And in the end, of course, we will drive you into the Stage Dive, which is the most amazing streaming platform ever, I would say. It ensures that you're making the fair amount of money with the art you release. This is actually the main purpose of this event, and we will invite you to join as a creator to this unique streaming platform, the Stage Dive. To make it a little bit more interactive and funny and enjoyable for everyone who is joining this webinar today, we will have as few segments that we called Creative Spotlight. So whenever you see a screen like this during a presentation, and you will have this chance several times during a presentation, there will be a creative task put on the screen and a timer, and you will have 1 minute to answer the creative task in the chat, exactly like you're using the chat right now. And the rules are like this. So the host of the show is announcing the creative task. You see it on the screen. We start the timer, and then you have 1 minute to post your answers in the chat. The rule is 1 sentence per 1 answer. And then the host of the show is determining the winner of this creative endeavor. And then the winner's music will be played during the following music break. So we are all looking forward to the creative answers from you guys and to hear your beautiful music, because honestly, I have to tell you, we were stunned how good the product that we heard from you, all the links that you sent us. It was absolutely amazing. And we're looking forward to hearing your music and to playing it to everybody who is watching us now on YouTube and StreamYard. And just before we begin, I wanted to test this approach. So let's warm up this chat a little bit. What is one skill that you think you need to improve to succeed in music? So remember, post your answers in the chat, 1 sentence per answer. I'm not gonna announce the winners for this one because this is just warming up. Let's go. Let's test how the chat is working. Please, guys, what is one skill that you need to improve to succeed in music? In your opinion, let's hear it, indeed. And please don't be shy. Talent, that is so good. But is talent a skill? Can you really improve your talent as you go? I'm really adaptable. This is really interesting. So how do you adapt to different, especially to the changes that we all experience in the world now, in the music industry? Making bangers, that's very interesting. And we'll be talking about the making bangers, and we will be talking about improving the social media presence, and how do you actually, what is the focus of your social media presence? Stage confidence. Stage confidence is something that we're not going to target today, but if you want, we can. I'm sure that Nenad's part and the entre musician part will answer to this question, because with right mindset, discipline, and focus, you can do everything. Anthony, fantastic answer. Indeed, discipline. So look at this. We've really warmed up the chat. It was fantastic answers. Thank you so much. And I think the skills that you want to improve, largely, they go in line of what we are planning to talk about today during the webinar. But enough with the introduction. I wanted to start with presenting a very good buddy of mine, Nenad, who will be taking the next part of this presentation onwards. Nenad, floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you. Well, so just to add my introduction to those people who are more interested, I'm coming from Belgrade, Serbia. So I'm in the region of Europe where most of all the people who are watching this are too. So I became a member of Anti Musician 3 years ago, although the whole idea of Anti Musician started like about 6 years ago. And I'm going to present in the nutshell what being an anti musician means. So this part is called accelerator. So basically, we're just going to do it fast, quick, just to give you the rough info about what becoming anti-musician means, and what and why mindset, discipline, and focus are the core elements of becoming an anti-musician. So please go to next slide if you can, or I don't know if I can do it. So basically, this is Jerry B. This is the founder of our little community anti-musician, who is organic. And you can see what he has achieved during last few years. The albums, the TV show that he does, the book he has published, and it's a best-selling book in the music area, and also becoming a member of various agencies who are delivering music. That's called sync licensing. So basically, he achieved so many just by implementing all of the things. So basically, what is musician is the first part that is, I mean, the great obstacle for all of us, and that's what we're lacking. It's entrepreneurial. So you have to be vision-minded, purpose-driven, self-started, relentless, music-oriented, but business music-oriented. And of course, you have to be creative. We are all creative people, but we do tend to aim our creativity towards creating music, but we also have to do it towards creating the business side of it, because at the moment nobody's going to think about us like that was back in the days when you signed a record label and everything's fine. Now nobody's going to do that. We all have to become entrepreneurial. So why mindset, discipline, and focus? And it's not just a slogan that sounds good. That is the essence, the lifeblood of anti-musician. It goes with any genre, any age. Although we tend to say this is for 50 and older, but any generation, any technology, any level of your music craftsmanship, whether you're a beginner or whether you're a seasoned musician, it doesn't matter. You have to focus on mindset, discipline, and focus in order to achieve. So whatever you do, this has to be the core of what you do in order to become successful in music at the present situation. Please, another slide. I'm just not going to be too much losing the time, that because we're limited and a lot of things have to be presented not from the anti-musician itself. So this accelerator, who is it for? Everyone in the entertainment industry, especially music industry, and especially those of us ages 50 plus. But as I said, it's not a limiting factor. But what we have found out is that musicians over 50 don't have enough knowledge about the streaming services, about the changes of the industry. They're still living in the past, and that past doesn't exist. So if you feel you're losing your edge, quote unquote, if you have trouble keeping with trends and technology, if you feel overwhelmed with spirituality and emotionally, because this group also provides that support around throughout all the musicians. If you want to improve your production, if you feel like you're always close, but you never grasp it, and if you're looking for an encouragement community, and if you don't want to die without any regrets, meaning if you don't want to die and saying, I didn't even try, this community will help you not only try, but succeed in what you're doing. Can I go to the next slide? So what can you expect with anti-musician community? First, the truth. There are no lies. What we know, we share. You're going to be challenged, meaning that we're going to push you like we're pushing each other within the community to do more, to learn more, to be more successful. You're going to be encouraged all the way through. That's what communities are for, to help each other, to encourage. You can do it. You will have the opportunity to think differently, because this is not a community like, we all have to do the same music. We all have to think the same way. No, we accept all nationalities, all religions, all races, all kind of musics, all genre of music. That is the opportunity to think differently and to say, I don't agree with this. I think it's this and this and this and this. So JDB is a former pastor. So JDB quotes when he started as a musician, what motivated him. So from time to time, you will see some quotes from Holy Scripture, because that was his initiative. Me, I'm not into that, but I totally understand what he thinks about it. Now, let us divide those three things: mindset, discipline, and focus. And as I said, and I will repeat it time and time again, that is the core of becoming entrepreneurial musician, meaning know how to do the business part and still improving your music and your artistry. So mindset is a position. It's not like a fixed place. Can you just turn it back a bit? Sorry. Yeah, it's not a fixed place. It's where you live. It's what you believe. It is the essence of your being. Your mindset is you. So you have to know who you really are in order to create your brand, in order to develop it as a musician. Whatever you do, you have to have a clear mindset and keep it in mind. Please, next slide. So, again, a part of the scripture that says, don't be conformed of this world's way of thinking or system or process of definitions or status, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So your mindset will always be renewed. You will always keep thinking things through, but having it in your mind. This is what I have to do in order to succeed. Please, next slide. Mindset is a posture. So like in sports, you assume a different posture that you're comfortable with. Sometimes it's offense, sometimes it's defense, but you know your position and you play it well. Meaning, I'm an artist, or I'm a songwriter, or I'm a singer, or I'm a guitar player, or whatever, I'm a music producer. That is my position in the team, and I'm going to do my very best to play it the best that I can. Please, another one. Am I going too fast? Just let me tell you. So if I'm going too fast, please put it in the chat. So I will go a bit slowly if you need to understand me. So these are the four mindset postures. Fixed mindset has positive and negative attributes. Growth mindset has only positive attributes. Scarcity mindset, meaning that you feel that you lack something, has only negative attributes. Abundance mindset has only positive attributes. If you don't know, the word abundance means that a lot of everything. So that is the best way to create a mindset of what you do or what you're doing, and to have the abundance of everything that you need. Please go to another slide. So play your position, assume your posture, define success. We're still talking about mindset. You have to define what is a success for you. Whether you want just to be a paid guitar player in a band, that's okay. Whether you want to be a music producer, that's okay. Whether you want to be a singer, that's okay. But define what will be your success when you will, and then you will have to affirm your daily position, knowing your role. Make positive alignments with yourself and others. Utilize selective side speech listening. Be a continual giver. Learn daily, and this is so important. Learn daily and act always. So when you define what is success for you, then you have the goal that you're going to strive, and you have the sense of direction, what I have to do in order to succeed. Please, another one. Whatever you tell yourself, your mind will align with you. So if you say, I'm not going to make it, for sure you're not going to make it. There's not going to be a miracle from heavens that it's going to help you to make it. If you tell yourself, I am going to make it, your mindset will be focused on that. Please, another one. So in order to define myself and my mindset, I have to know myself. And it's not only the spiritual thing, it's also the business thing, because this is how I create my brand. Who am I? And who am I really? What do I truly believe? How far along am I on my own dream path? Meaning, how many steps do I have to take to be where I have to be, where I want to be? How often do I negotiate my own perspectives, motives, and intentions? Meaning, how often do I talk to myself about who I am, what I really truly want? And now we're going to that very important part. What regrets will I die with? Will I die with the regret that I didn't make it because I didn't have the discipline to do it? Or because I said, no, I'm not going to make it? Because I had not set my mind on the true thing? What excuses am I allowing to limit my true potential? Will I say, okay, this is too hard for me, I'm not going to do it? Okay, here comes the part of creative spotlight. So Andrew, please.
Yes. So, hello, guys, and hopefully you enjoyed this part of Nenad absolutely amazing speech about the mindset and focus and discipline are coming later after this creative spotlight. But for now, would you sum up in a creative way your mission as a musician? So remember, you post your answers in the chat, one sentence per answer, and the winner will be determined by Nenad right after this 1 minute expires. And then we will ask you for the winner for the link to their YouTube music so that we can hear it a bit later in the presentation. So I'll just go ahead and I will start the timer. So sum up your mission as a musician. What are you trying to achieve in this world? What are you trying to give to this world as a musician, as professional? And I obviously everybody is still thinking about the answers, but don't be shy. It's okay. To make other people awake. That's absolutely amazing answer, Olga. Thank you so much. Do we have any other answers? How creative we are. We have more than 50 people who are creative here, and we have only one answer: to make other people awake. So, guys, don't be shy. Please warm out our chat, because in that case we will have to make a winner. The only person who has answered this question. So we have 5 seconds. Bring more love to the world. Grow connections between musicians and their audience. Make music to say what words can't. These are so amazing answers. To bring joy to people, to serve. That is absolutely amazing. Nenad, what do you think?
Oh,
It's a hard choice, huh? It's a hard choice.
I mean, all the answers that we have. I mean, from Thomas, my mindset as a musician to have mindset, be focused and have discipline is like, right on the point. But also from Chutaku Doro, I hope I pronounced it, and I'm not pronouncing it, I'm sorry, to bring joy to people and to serve, to make music, to say what words can't. That's from Ramona. That's amazing answer. From Plain Passenger, to bring more love to the world. And from Olga Khmeleva, to make other people awake. Now, this is emotions that give sensations to listeners. Again, from Mary Kirillova. Now, I'm going to be extremely subjective now, literally. So each answer is great. But why am I extremely subjective? With my music and what I do is I'm trying to make other people awake. So Olga, thank you for your answer. It's not only that you're first, but you hit my nerve with that answer, because that's what I'm doing with my lyrics, at least. So I believe that Olga is, extremely subjective from my side. I know that, but Olga is the winner of this one. So
thank
Olga,
you. Thank you so much, Nenad. Thank you so much, Olga. Congratulations. You are the winner of this particular round of the spotlight, of the creative spotlight. Our team will get in touch with you via chat so that you can provide a link to the YouTube video of your music, and we will play it during the next music break, which is coming in about 7-8 minutes right after Nenad's part of the presentation. Thank you so much, Olga. Please prepare the link to the YouTube. And meanwhile, we will continue. Nenad, and sorry, one more thing. Next time we will have the creative spotlight. Please be even more active. It's so amazing, the answers that you guys are putting here. It's so inspirational, so inspiring as well to us. Please, we are looking forward to these answers, and we're looking to discuss that. And I'm passing the baton back to Nenad. Nenad.
Yeah, thank you. So the second part of mindset, discipline, and focus, and I'm going to rush over things because we are limited with time. So in the United States especially, and in parts of Europe also, discipline is often regarded something, like, especially with musicians, like I'm an artist. I want to sleep until 3 o'clock in the afternoon and blah, 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 and so on. And so I'm not going to be disciplined. But discipline is a lovingly and firm decision that I continue to make and I'm able to do. So it is a progression, meaning that if I'm well organized and I discipline myself with a clear mindset of what I want to become as an artist, as a musician, discipline means that I'm going to be extremely well organized in order to follow my path and what I want to be. Please, another slide. I'm just going to be jumping, of course. I'm going to jump this one because we don't have time. Please, another. This is part of the scripture describing why discipline is so important. So your music is spiritual. Regardless of whether you're Christian, you're Muslim, you're atheist, whatever, it defines what you feel, or call it emotional, or call it whatever. It comes what you feel inside. Your music is your purpose. We all musicians are born with that. That is our gift, and we have to share that gift with others. So your music is to be shared with others and to glorify God. It's again Jerry's opinion, and as I said, everybody is entitled to her own position in this. And Jerry, who founded this as a former pastor, that is his position. I'm not at the same position, and I'm international director. So I want you to know that we're not some sort of, Christian sect, meaning, this is what you have to do. No, this is our spiritual path. And for each musician and for each person and for each artist, the spiritual path is different. But yet it is still a spiritual path for all of us, because what we're dealing is music. It's not something you can touch. It's not something you can, take in your hands. It's something that's so ethereal. It's just all around us. So please, another part of the part. So why do I make my music? Important thing to ask yourself. Another slide, please. So discipline places a demand on you so it can draw the gold out of you. It requires more than you may be willing to provide. Because, we tend to be lazy. I'm an artist. I will do it tomorrow. But if I discipline myself and I said, no, I have to do this on Wednesday on 3 o'clock, from 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock, and I discipline myself, then it will be done. But if I do that each Wednesday, and I said, okay, Wednesday from 3 to 5 p.m., it is my time to share what I want to share on social media. And I do it each Wednesday at 3 p.m. And I'm disciplined in that. That's 52 posts during the year. And a lot of people will not do that because, I don't have time to post anything about what I do, what my music is, and so on. So discipline allows you to come face to face with the truth of who you really are, or what you really want, and why you are really here in this world, on this planet. Please, another one. So discipline confronts fear. To be clear, courage is not the absence of fear. We all fear of everything, especially our fear is, will I succeed? Will people like my song? Because we're so emotional when we're thinking about our music. So discipline is the ability to move ahead while being afraid. So you're allowed to fear, but you have to overcome that fear. And discipline provides us with the motivation, with the stamina to pursue things we would otherwise walked away from, because fear will then be stronger than us. But if I discipline myself, then I will be stronger than my fears. Please, another one. So a few resources how to develop your discipline. Vision board. What is a vision board? Literally a board that you can place wherever you want to, in your room, your apartment, wherever, and put stickers, put photos, everything that associates you with what you have to do. You put affirmation cards. You congratulate yourself. Why not? Look, this week I planned this week to do this, and this, and I finished everything. So there is an affirmation card that will say, yeah, great, you did it. There is a planner. Why? Because, Jerry used to have, he still has, and that's his way of working it. He has the name for each day, not Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. No, he has social media day. He has producing day. He has planning day. And he knows during his week that this is the day when I do this. And this is the important part of being entrepreneurial musician. And I will always get you back to that part. When I just a thing to add here, 3 years when I became the member of anti-musician, and I had the full course of how to become an anti-musician. And it's a tough course. It's 250 questions you have to answer to yourself in order to understand what you really want. The very first thing that I said to Jerry, it was, I hate being an entrepreneur. I just want to be a musician. But I need to become an entrepreneur in order to succeed. So I need to start loving the entrepreneurial part of the business. And guess what? 3 years after, I'm loving the entrepreneurial. Why? Because it is so creative. It helps you create the things on social media. It helps you get in contact with people. You have to be creative if you want to be a good entrepreneur. So it's not just a dull thing and being on the phone and calling people and say, yeah, I need this, I need. No. It's a creative thing. And I learned how to love that part of the job. So discipline also is forever. You cannot do it like for 3 months and then said, okay, I did it. No, once you started, if you want to be a musician, a successful one, an artist, a songwriter, it means that you're going to start to be organized and disciplined forever. Please, another one. So the parts of discipline also are self-esteem, meaning that you believe in yourself. Then a self-talk. You know, when you lay down in bed and question yourself, did I do this right? What should I do next tomorrow? How should I improve myself? Then there's a prayer life, a meditation, whatever you use for your walking in the woods, whatever you need to get your mind clear in order to have a clear thought. And it's a system of faith. Again, whichever faith helps you to improve yourself and be on the path that you have set. Nobody's going to tell you, you have to do this. You yourself have to say for yourself, I'm going to do this and I have to do this in order to become a successful musician, in order to get where I want to. That's all part of the discipline. Please, another slide. I think we're setting to the final place. Yeah, so how do I train myself to live the life I desire? That's part of the discipline. Make the demand, map out and implement the plan. So literally make a schedule for this year, for 2025. I want to, when 2025 ends, I want to be here in this place. In order to get there, by June, I will have to do this. By August, I will have to do this. By September or November, I will have to do this. But in order to be there at June, I will have to do this and this. So make the plan, map out the journey of yourself as a musician and as an artist. Please, another one. So 9 keys, how to unlock mindset, discipline, and focus. First, start. Don't wait like, I think about it. I start on Monday. I start on May the 1st. No, just start. Believe that you can do it. Believe in yourself. Don't stop ever. Trust. Look for other opportunities. Look for knowledge. Look for collaboration with other musicians. Learn each day, because there are so many things to learn, because industry is changing day by day by day. A year ago, we didn't have artificial intelligence in music. Now it's like on daily basis, and we have legal disputes. How it's going to be recognized? Is it going to be recognized as something artistic, or is it going to be recognized as something artificial? If we don't learn those things with ever-changing music industry, we're going to fail. Give what you know. Give to others in order to receive. You can't just be receiving, because nobody will give you anything unless you give also. So give what you learn, give your knowledge, give your heart, give your emotions, give your skills. Of course, forgive and have gratitude. Please, another one. Now we're coming to the last part of mindset, discipline, and focus. Now, this is a very simple question, but it makes you really think about it. Can you imagine the tremendous focus it takes to be a brain or a heart surgeon? Imagine you're operating on an open brain or open heart. How focused you have to be. It's like a laser beam, literally. So that's the way you're going to have to be focused on your music career. The same thing, unless you're not, if you don't do that, do you think that you can manage it? Do you think that you can be successful? Just look at the successful stories in the music industry business for the last 10 years, how focused they are. Please, another one. So focus allows you to take into account the solidarity of your mindset and the practice of your continual discipline. To zero in like a laser beam to cure whatever the problem there is. So basically, if you have focus on what you're doing, then you will understand, and then you will gain everything you have to gain from discipline and from the proper mindset. Please, another one. So when you have focus, you will find what you're looking for every time, positive or negative, and even if it's not true. So whatever you're looking for comes to the surface, and it goes with the mindset. If you have your positive mindset, even if something happens positive or negative, you can turn it into positive by having focus. Because that negative thing is negative only if you perceive it as negative. You know, I wanted to have a gig, I didn't have a gig. Is that a negative thing? Yeah, on the first side. But if I put a plus sign and said, okay, maybe I wasn't ready for that gig. Maybe we didn't rehearse, my band and me didn't rehearse enough. Maybe we will be better on the next gig. So that's the good thing that happened. I didn't get that gig. Why? Because I wasn't yet there ready for it. Please, another one. So focus is a precision. It's not a perfection. No, none of us is perfect. It's bringing the precise decision in what you do. As it says, it's measuring twice to cut once. And it's asking questions repeatedly in order to understand what and where are you going. So my first question is always why. And that's the first question of each amateur musician. Why do I have to do this? And then I look for the answer and find the answer why. Next question is who? And then all the other questions, when and where. Once you have answers to those questions, you will be on the right path for sure. Please, now another slide. So focus is seeing what others may not see. So once you have your focus in the right place, you can see the opportunities that others will neglect, won't see. You can see what you can do in order to get where you want to be. So it means that you look where others are not looking to see another possibility for you. Another one, please. So creative discernment, and to see it before you see it, you create twice. Everything you know to need already exists. It's just a matter of where. And that's why you need focus. And that's what I said. Look where others are not looking. Seek for opportunities where others are not thinking about. It's something that you are looking or working diligently, because your emotions do not control you. Please, another one. We're coming closer to the end, but these are part of the questions you have to ask yourself when becoming an entrepreneurial musician. What do I see when I look inside myself? Because the first thing is to be true to yourself, not to lie yourself. What do I see when I scan the horizon of my dreams? Meaning that when I look at what I want to become, what do I see? What obstacles do I see on that road? What knowledge do I lack in order to come where I want to be? What miracles do I see myself creating or performing? I have at least 250, 300 gigs in my life, from 50 people to, believe it or not, 5,000, 50,000 people even. And gigging and having that energy sent back from the audience is a miracle. And in what ways may I begin to sharpen my MDF? That MDF is abbreviation for mindset, discipline, and focus. Please, another one. So, mindset, know who you are, define your why, meaning why am I on this journey, and determine your journey. Another one. So discipline is commit your life to become an artist, a songwriter, producer, whatever you want to be. Seriously plan your course in all details, and of course adjust that plan along the way, because things happen in your life. Maybe you get sick and 3 days you cannot work anything, or maybe you had issue on your regular job, or maybe there is a storm that prevented you from doing, but you have to adjust that plan. You don't stop with that plan. Please, another one. And focus, being clear about your present reality. So know where you are, who you are, and what you are. But look and see your future. You're looking beyond the natural also. So see your future you. Imagine what you want to be, and then use mindset, discipline, and focus to achieve that. Another one. Yeah. So there is much, much more. This, if you go to MDF Intensive, so this was just an accelerator. You can scan the QR code, and I will post in chat my email if you want to contact me today after this, or anytime in the future if you want to know more about becoming a musician. I hope that what I said have sense for you. Thank you a lot.
Thank you so much, Nenad. And it was absolutely wonderful presentation. And meanwhile, we have Jerry B at the backstage, who is waiting to say a few words of welcome to the whole audience. And I wanted to invite Jerry. Hello, Jerry. Very happy to see you. Thank you so much for attending here. Jerry is the founder of Entre Musician, and Jerry, please say a few words to the audience that we've gathered today.
Well, hello, everybody. I do trust that you received what Nenad had to give. He did an excellent job, absolutely excellent, in demonstrating the heart and soul of who we are as Entre musicians. My hope for you is that you, once you have planted in your mind and in your soul what you want to accomplish as an entrepreneurial musician, that you reach the success that you truly desire. That's our heart. Our heart is just helping you to see the future you and going for it. So as Nenad said, there's so much more. He just scratched the surface of what being an entre musician is, but you have it in you. I want to tell you right now, I believe in you and what you have set for yourself, the course and the path that you have decided, this is what I'm going to do. You can make it, and you have help. So come on, hit that QR code, find out how you can be in touch with the Entre Musician, how you can partner with us. Nenad is going to give his contact information. Make sure you get in touch with him. This is a workshop. All of us, Stage Dive, Pitch Perfect, all of us are just guaranteeing the fact that you have it in you. We believe in you. And what we're presenting to you is important information that once you put it into practice, there's no stopping you. Thank you so much, Andre, for allowing me the opportunity to speak. And I'm telling you, you got it. You can win. And we believe that.
Absolutely amazing. Thank you so much, Jerry. It was wonderful. It is wonderful to have you with us. And now we're moving to the music break. And one thing that I wanted to say, we had a bit of a technical problem because we cannot actually play the files from Spotify, the music. So in case you want to listen to the music of the winner, you should go to the chat, copy paste the link, and enjoy it in your leisure time. And meanwhile, I asked our technical support, our backstage team, to select the music that they like. So let's have at it.
Stau cu ochii închiși sub cerul de vară, sub norii triști. O caut iar în zadar, știu că de azi nu mai e a mea. Încet, cu răbdare, picta pe pielea mea iubirea pe care o doream, iubirea pe care o visam. Târziu când veneam pe masă găseam un fir de trandafir. Petalele lui îmi spuneau ce simțea când plângea fără motiv. Dintr-o mie de gânduri, 1000 de chipuri, pe tine te-am ales. Pe 1000 de drumuri încrucișate, pentru tine am mers. Și acum tu ce-i faci? Îți este bine, nu mă mai vrei. Și acum tu ce faci? Mereu încruntat luam supărările în pat. Nu mai era și pentru ea loc pe perna mea. Nu voia să vadă, însă bănuia. Dintr-o 1000 de chipuri, 1000 de drumuri, niciunul nu-i spre ea.
Absolutely amazing music, wasn't it?
That was
thank
incredible.
you. That was absolutely incredible. Thank you so much. I wanted to ask our backstage team as well to post the name of the musician by whom this music was, so that we can maybe get in touch at some point of time, because the music was really great, and so that everybody from the chat could check it out. This musician. Thank you so much. I think it went very, very, very nicely. Again, thanks, Nenad and Jerry. We've been talking about mindset, discipline, and focus as a foundation of the healthy artist. Because remember, we started our presentation with the fact that a lot of musicians are experiencing depression, anxiety attacks, and panic attacks as well. It's a very tough job, and it's a very tough world. So please get in touch with them. And meanwhile, we will continue and we will go on with a bit of a marketing part. And we will be discussing quite a few things that are related to the happiness again. So, as you know, we've asked all of you, what does happiness mean for you in our little emails and researches during the registration. And essentially, it all boils down to you want to play great music for great people, and you want to get paid fairly with money for your art. And I believe this is a fair statement for any profession, but here, I think in the music world, it's extremely important as well. So how do we grow the audience, and how do we make money with music? And these are two parts, essentially, of the presentation that we're going to be focusing together with Anton in the next 10 or 15 minutes. So let's a little bit talk about the audience growth. And right off the bat, I wanted to show you this. And this is a kind of an ecosystem of the artist in this music world. So essentially, you have your great product, your great artist. Everybody is supposed to love your art. But at the same time, you have so many different touch points within this ecosystem that it becomes overwhelming to be able to cope with everything. Why is this happening? So first of all, we do know that the complexity of music business has increased over the years with development of different touch points, of different media, of different channels, also with the development of the mastering tools and DAWs and whatnot. So the complexity of the business is getting really high. At the same time, this means that the industry is getting at the point of saturation, meaning that, okay, so many people are participating in music, so many people are also listening to music, that in a way, the music is becoming commoditized. And for those of you who don't understand this kind of definition, commodity is something that you value just as a substance, as a material, as a raw material even. Sugar would be one example of commodity. Oil would be another example of commodity. Unfortunately, nowadays, music is becoming increasingly commoditized. And one important feature of the commoditized product is that people don't really care. They don't care about the person who is standing behind the product. They don't care about the brand that is making this product. And all in all, we can say that the audience is getting indifferent. So they don't care about they don't care basically about the people who are standing behind this product. And in a way, if you compare the potato market and the potatoes as a very commoditized product with, let's say, playlists for sleep, you would get roughly the same picture. We don't care about who wrote this music on the right-hand side. We don't care who produced these potatoes on the left-hand side. All you need when you select the playlist for sleep, you need just a calm music that will satisfy your falling asleep needs, let's say. And with potatoes, you just want to fry it and be full. So as musicians, we don't want this to be happening. We don't want people to be indifferent to what we do. So what we need to do, we need to fight this indifference. The opposite of love, as Elie Wiesel said at some point of time, the opposite of love is not hate, it's indifference. Indifference is probably the worst thing, the worst emotion that people can experience, or rather, this is a lack of emotion, and this is what you have to fight. So how do we fight indifference as musicians? And there's so many ways, obviously, there's so many ways to fight indifference. But for this presentation, we decided to kind of pick 3 topics that we thought would be really important for the artist in the modern time. And we will start with storytelling. So how do you really tell the story in a way that is that is impactful and that is combating this indifference of the audience. Then, of course, it's the news making. So how do you frame what you want to say in a way that the newspapers would pick it up or the media outlets would pick it up? And another way of fighting the audience indifference, but also to growing your audience, is collaboration. And I think collaborating between the music artists is one of the most effective strategies to grow your audience, both on digital streaming platforms, but also on in a real life offline. So we'll start with just one technique, which we will share with all participants of this webinar afterwards in the handout materials. One technique that is called 5C. And essentially what it's talking about is that any story has a centerpiece. And we call it compassion. So you need to emphasize with the characters, with the plot of the story, you need to understand and relate to what is happening. But definitely this is not enough. And especially as we see the saturation of the content on social media, in the newspapers, around the world, everywhere, we need something more than just compassion. So, okay, compassion is what you center your story about, but what else can you add? And then it is said that you have 4 different elements to spice it up. One is curiosity, when you make people wonder what's going to happen or how this happened. Comedy, obviously everybody likes a bit of laugh, and everybody is attracted to humor in the social media and also in real life, I'd say. Another point is controversy. When you're talking about the elements or the stories that divide people's opinions, so that people can, both those who agree with you and those who don't agree with you, they can say something or make a statement as a response to your message. And then, of course, challenge, and this is when you're challenging the concepts that people will kind of gather around you, rally behind you, and go to fight for your cause in a way. So indeed, compassion is the core of the story. The audience emphasizes with the characters of the story, but that's not enough. And then we're going into controversy. Divisive topics would be sort of politics, social issues, human rights, and this is driving an increased engagement, both as an increased engagement from people who are looking and they are engaging emotionally with the content, but also increased engagement as in social media increased engagement. This is very effective method. Then, of course, we're talking about comedy. I think nothing has to be explained here. Once again, humor is always loved by everybody, and it drives actually longer viewing and listening times, making people rewatch and making people re-engage with the content that they have watched. You have the challenge, as we discussed. This is to rally the audience, to rally your fans behind some sensitive topics and trigger the protest. And this is driving the organic sharing of your content, which is also very good measure for the social networks such as TikTok, Instagram, and others. And of course, curiosity. This is where you reveal the secrets, show mistakes, enlighten people, ask questions. You're weird. That drives longer viewing and listening times. Like a lot. I think we wanted to show a couple of examples, really. So of Jason Aldean, for example, and him essentially stirring a debate, about politics. So political, cultural messages, and targeting the rural identity and vigilante justice and this kind of stuff. This is done by the artist who has more than 3 million subscribers on YouTube. Then we wanted to talk about Oliver Tree as well, and his obviously visuals, comedy is amazing. Oliver has more than 6 million followers on YouTube. Then the band that is called the 1975. So this guy actually kissed his bandmate in a country, in Malaysia, where the very strict anti-LGBT rules were enforced. And then the whole festival was cancelled.
1975 cancelled a festival with a kiss. Performing in Malaysia, Matty Healy lipped his bandmate on stage to protest the country's anti-LGBT laws. They were asked to leave and the rest of the festival got...
And of course, Doja Cat, I think everybody knows Doja Cat, especially in the chat. So this is an example of curiosity. So kind of showing the visuals and different cryptic hints to keep audiences guessing about what will be the next artistic move. A little bit like Lady Gaga is what he's doing. Yeah, so as you can see, the big artists, they are already doing this. If you boil down all the stories, all the videos, everything that is being put out by the big artists, you will be able to pinpoint exactly which elements of 5C they have been using intentionally to spice up their art. So this is about the storytelling. We decided to share only one concept, which is 5C, and you will have more detailed instructions sent to you about this concept right after the webinar. And now I wanted to pass the baton to Anton, who will be talking about newsmaking.
Yeah, thank you very much, Andrei. Hello, everybody. Fighting indifference, yeah, that's the topic picked up by Andrei. I think it's really the central point of what we're going to discuss today. And to do that, to fight indifference and to stay visible, you need to create news, right? News about your content, your art, your life. In the meantime, another important question is how to create news when actually nothing is happening. Right? And I love this topic because basically all my professional life is about answering this question. You know, I started my professional career 20 or even a little bit more years ago as a journalist in a small local newspaper in a small town. Nothing was happening around me. Never, and of course during the weekends and in the evening I played guitar in a local rock band, and I was really stressed and a little bit depressed about my job because again, no news. Yeah, I had telephone, pen, paper, that's it. Yeah, no ChatGPT. Thanks God I already had some internet, and it took me about 6 months to understand how to create news. And I started like this. Our drummer, he worked as a morgue attendant. Basically, he was a kind of nurse in a cold storage for dead bodies. Right? And sometimes we had rehearsal or like practice our music there, not in the refrigerator, but in the basement, because it was for free and nobody was annoyed by our noise. And one day on a small smoke break, my drummer told me that there were two organizations who both worked in the same morgue. One is a kind of police unit dealing with the criminal cases, and another is a hospital, yeah, dealing with like people who were ill. And given the fact that the city was small, they had the same morgue for them, and they were constantly arguing and fighting for the dead bodies. Why? Because it's about money, right? Because the relatives pays for the body's preparation for funeral ceremony, right? And it means that from each body they earned like 2,000 euros, right? And here how I drafted my first good article. Yeah, it's called something like "The War for Corpses: How Police and Hospital Divide the Dead and Make Money." right? And I would say that it was something, in my small city. And it was a huge scandal. And after that, basically, another story. Once upon a time, my editor-in-chief asked me to make an interview with the director of a municipal transportation company, basically the boss of public buses. And as you imagine, it was one of the most boring assignments I ever had. Like, how many buses do you have? How many people you transport from work to home and backward? And when I was at the interview, I looked at the window and I noticed a good BMW, right? And asked the secretary of this director of the city buses, like, whose car is it? She told, yeah, my boss just recently bought it, and I checked in the open sources what was the salary of this director. He was a public servant, so everything is transparent, and it was about 800 euros per month. And here I invented the next article, like the director of municipal bus company has been saving his salary for at least 5 years, right, to buy a car of his dream. Apparently, all this time he did not eat and even used the public bus without buying tickets, right? And why I am discussing these old stories? Because basically, to invent them, to create them, I did nothing, right? The city was and is small and quite boring, without no news, right? But these articles created huge scandal, right? Of course, angry director of morgue and director of buses, they came to our editorial office and talked to my editor. Of course, citizens, readers started to call and draft some notes to the editorial office. And you know what? My editor was really happy because we fight it in difference successfully, right? We created the news and the audience enlarged, and of course the advertisers, the amount of money we collected for advertising also enlarged, right? And basically that is how my love of making news from nothing or almost nothing became my job. Yeah. After that, I started to work for election campaigns, then for the brands, and I realized that everybody wants news, and everyone or almost everyone feels like nothing interesting going on, right? It's not true. Yeah. Spoiler. And what you need, to take what's the takeaway from these examples? You take your subject, even if you feel it's boring or like just usual, and connect with something meaningful for the readers, for the listeners, and crush, bump, split it together, right? And what topics might be important for your readers and listeners, like health, money, work, death, whatever, right? Donald Trump with Elon Musk brother, right? And if we can go to the second slide. So basically what is important, I'm not encouraging you to make some, random news about everything and write whatever ridiculous nonsense news ever, right? News is a call to read about you. The function of the news is attract attention. And using news or info provocation, you just give a reason to read about you. And here we come to the important point, and all the previous speakers already mentioned this. You need to have a message or story about your music, right? It's not enough in the modern world just to prepare a good and high quality music. Yeah, as you all see, AI already doing that pretty fast, right? And in order not to produce potato, right, you need to create a message and the story. And for example, again, I just invented some ridiculous examples which came into my mind. For instance, look at this girl. Yeah, she says, I'm writing music for yoga, right? And this music allows you maximum fast to reach unity of body, of mind, and the spirit. And for this, I spent about 10 years in Tibet, listening wind, for instance, right? And trying to record it in my music, right? And for the guy with the good fancy beard, he says, beard is a symbol of non-conformism, of freedom, and I would like to unite everybody, every man with a beard, rockers, bikers, startuppers, IT specialists, hipsters, weekends, etc. And together we will go to the freedom, right? And the third guy, right, as you can see from his message, basically he's crazy about snow and snowmen, right? He grew up in the north, no internet there. All his free time he dedicated to the snow and playing with the snow. And for like 20 years, during the 20 years, he became the best specialist in the snow making and like snowman. Yeah, and of course, when he got the first guitar from his father, he definitely created the first song, and it was about snow, right? And after all these stories, you see there is no potato, right? It's not just some faceless people who are playing music. They are individuals with their personal story. And it is important to understand that people like read stories about people, not the products and even not the music. Yeah, they need to understand the personal story. And if we even discuss our wonderful webinar from one side, we can say, okay, it's just 100 people in front of the computer, they are talking and exchanging some words. What's interesting, yeah, about this? Thousands of other seminars are going on right now, right? But if we are like challenge ourselves, so let's invent some news. Yeah, we can start, for instance, from the figures Andrei mentioned to us at the very beginning, right? Imagine 70% of indie musicians have depression because they are kind of torn between their main job and the music, right? I can imagine 50 of them quit music, right? Probably 10% become mentally ill, or sad to say, some of them commit suicide, yeah, due to lack of success. And in the meantime, every year there are 1.3 million people who became the new indie musician. What does it mean? It means 1 million of depressed people every year, right? So here you are. We already articulate the problem, and it is significant. It is about millions of people with depression, right? And now we can do whatever we want. We can comment on that. We can give a solution how to reduce the number, how to make them happy, etc., etc. So here is the news. Yeah, and if we would like to add some scandal, let's imagine that one of the participants mentioned to us and probably shows that he's playing Paul McCartney bass guitar from Beatles, where the guitar which has been lost in the 70s, right? And given the fact that this musician doesn't have money to survive, so he or she is ready to sell it for 200,000 euros, for instance. In the meantime, experts would assess this guitar in 10 millions, right? Can we invent or modulate this story? Obviously, yeah, it's not so easy to invent it. If we go a bit crazy, we can say that during the stream, one of the participants had a baby, right? And who was named Stage Dive, for instance.
That's an interesting idea, I would say.
Yeah. And imagine, like, will media take this story? They will, right? Or a speaker like Andrei, while he was talking about monetization on a new platform, his car might be stolen, right? And probably it was Spotify, right?
Of course, it's always Spotify.
Yeah. And Andrei would send a request to Spotify in order to clarify, and nobody would answer, obviously. Yeah, exactly. And it's another good media story. So if we go move on. So basically, I would highlight 3 steps. First of all, formulate the message of your art. I'm not going to the territory of your music, right? Because like it's not about that. I just would like you guys to formulate the message like you are delivering through your message. Promote your message through the news you invent and create using the techniques I just mentioned, and make the audience discuss your news and messaging and your music. Yeah, and this is the most difficult part, obviously, right? Because I am sure you are easily develop a skill to generate news on everything, right? But how to make people vote, like, dislike, even share, repost, and answer your questions, that's the indicator of fighting indifference, right? And here you should be really catchy and become a master of engagement. If we go further to the last slide. So basically here are 6 schemes or methods how to create the core event. To invent music. First of all, you can create the core event. If you have an anniversary of your band, you can not just say, okay, I spent 5 years playing this amazing music. You can create an NFT, right? For instance, for your new album, or you can organize the street concert on the street with the street musicians, right? Invite your fans and organize the direct translation in YouTube or Spotify. Another option is to pack your art process into a news story, right? For instance, you can collect negative comments from social media discussing and trying to invent the new song online, right? Using all these nasty words, for instance. Another topic and approach to respond to the current trends and events. Yeah, the easiest one is to take something fancy and viral from TikTok and unpack this into the whole story music, right, with the full production. Or you can create a song or music using only sounds of the garbage you found on the street.
That's the best idea.
Cans, etc. And add and mix some noise from your window, from the street, for instance. That already works. I'm not spending a lot of time on the topic about giving your audience the voice to influence your decision. I mean, it's clear. Yeah, you can ask, like, guys, what's the best final of this song in your view? Like, what's your experience in such situations, etc., etc. Yeah, asking question and give audience chance to participate, to decide together with you. And challenge and experiments. Yeah, for instance, you can organize a tour using only bus, public transportation, bikes, etc., without climate carbon footprint at all. Yeah, if you are about environment, for instance. Or you can play and record your best songs using only your body. Yeah, clapping, using voice harmony, etc., etc., without guitars, without drums, and so on and so forth. So and tell personal story. Yeah, I'm not spending much time on that because I already told you some of my personal stories, and I'm sure you have much more and more interesting. So to conclude, generate huge news, connect your art and your message, and enlarge your audience. Yeah, that's basically my part.
And now it's a part for the audience.
Okay,
here we are. Chat, how are you doing? There. Yeah. Hopefully people are like really listening, and we will see you now. Please, Anton.
Yeah. So, guys, please generate a catchy news headline about your event you had today, or maybe tomorrow, or maybe
especially tomorrow.
Yeah,
especially tomorrow. Especially tomorrow.
Yeah. Just one line. Yeah. Put it in the chat and let's discuss.
Yes. Okay, guys, I'm starting the timer. So your creative task is to write a newsworthy headline about an event that happened to you today or recently. Let's go. And it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And please, so generate something interesting, something that we could hook up on, right? Yep. And something that we would read. Okay, John, that's an amazing answer. Stage Dive disrupts billion-dollar music streaming industry by partnering with independent artists. And this is exactly what we are doing. Olga, the winner of the previous is saying, I have 2 hours of freedom. And then Martin, bro, my 2018 demo just blew up on TikTok. Didn't see that coming. I actually love that one. It reminds me a little bit of the Bitcoin stories when people threw away the hard drives and everything. Came up with a hook today by accident, and now I can't get it out of my head. Pretty sure it's a hit. Yeah, probably it is, Alexander. Probably it is. A person in Siberia cleans whole house for under 4 minutes. That's interesting. Would be a bear or someone with everyone catching colds. Guess who wake up today with a sore throat and a cold? What a effing day. That's also Sitaku. That's an amazing new slide. So,
guys, really,
Anton, what do you think?
Thanks a lot for these great news hooks. And I just personally, I loved the story Martin mentioned, right? About the TikTok, and the demos which blew up TikTok.
Bro, my 2018 demo just blew up on TikTok. Didn't see that coming. I think that's a pretty amazing.
In more ways, it's really easy to connect to your message, to your content, etc., and lead further.
Super. Martin, congratulations. You're the winner of this round of Creative Spotlight. And please post a link to your YouTube, to your music on YouTube, so we can play it in the next segment of this show. And meanwhile, we will continue. So we talked about storytelling and newsmaking. And in fact, these two subjects are so much connected and interconnected. You cannot really do without these elements of 5 C's. You need to implant them into the newsmaking that you are making. It's very, very interesting. Everything is coming together. And now we wanted to spend literally a minute or two on collaboration. And the reason why we're talking about this is exactly because now we have almost 100 people of musicians sitting here via Stage Dive and YouTube Direct as well. You guys could collaborate with each other. That would be an amazing achievement of this webinar if nothing else happens. But if you guys start to making music together, that would be absolutely amazing, and we'd be so happy to see that. But anyways, we do have, of course, we have a framework for collaboration. This is more inspirational and more emotions-driven framework. And we are talking mostly about the mindset shift, because when you want to start to collaborate with someone, you need to open yourself up. You need to understand that it's not a competition, that you are trying to make a good product together. You need to really look for the match, and you really need to think who you would like to work with and play with and compose with. And then even the starting of this collaboration can be weird. It can be not nice even. It's very uncomfortable sometimes, but you have to go through this stage as well. Then integrating your musical tastes, integrating your genres, integrating your worlds, essentially, and then committing to release and committing to doing some good music together, so that you co-create, co-promote, and co-grow. And this is how you how you enlarge your audience. That's how you grow your loyal fans as well. So as we said, you open up for collaborators, and you should be ready for like the cross-cultural cross-pollination, bending the genres, going outside of your comfort zone, and fusing different things that people will love. We were talking about uncovering the match, and again, I really call you all to start making these connections right here now in this chat. if you want to, of course. Otherwise, you go to local jams, you go to open mics, you research social media, and then you should share. You should look for someone who shares your taste and values. And I think values is the most important thing. It's way more important than any genre, instrument, type of music that you play. The values matter here the most. Then the framework advises you to actually make the first encounters or first jams that you're making together to be unusual, make up bizarre rules, to test the creativity of each other, to go together out of the comfort zone. And then, of course, you should integrate into each other worlds, obviously listen to each other music, but also probably exchange of the gear or different templates, lyrics, music, and spend really a day again uncovering the values that you guys are sharing in this life experiences, philosophy, to create the world where you are joined as one. And then, of course, you commit and begin, and the general rule is not to go with something big, but rather go in a more paced way with a tiny launch or single. And we all know that musicians, they typically collaborate. There's a lot of collaborating musicians in the world. But also it happens in other industries. Let's say YouTubers, and we all know Mr. Beast, and we know how Mr. Beast and Mark Rober teamed up to raise funds for ocean cleanup, and that not only brought the money on the table for the cause, but also they experienced a huge subscriber growth during this promotion. The example, since we've been talking about potato, the example from the retailers, and that's the Ace Hardware Cooperative. And this is a very typical thing that a lot of retailers do. The individual guys, your moms and pops shop, basically the corner shops, they come together to negotiate from the more powerful position, obviously with the suppliers, but also they fueling the loyalty of the shoppers because they know, okay, this is the brand that I can trust and that I like. And of course, the producers, and one of the examples is this Resilience IPA that was donating the proceeds to Sierra Nevada, California campfire disaster. So as you can see, the very different content creators, retailers, producers, and of course musicians are all about collaboration. Why? Not only because it helps money-wise, but also it enlarges the audience and the interest of the loyal audiences. So with this, we are kind of finalizing this segment of storytelling and newsmaking and collaborating. So this is something that we are that we wanted to show you as frameworks to grow your audience and fighting difference. But then once you've done that, right? So you're on the path to growing your audience. You understand how to make news. You found some collaborators. How do you really make money on that? Yeah,
the most important.
This is the most important thing. And here we have our revenue growth, basically. Part of the presentation. Again, we are coming back a little bit into this touch points and the infrastructure that the current musician has to deal with. And essentially, if you look at all these touch points, you can make more or less money with some of these channels. Today, as you know, we are introducing the Stage Dive digital platform, and we are talking about just one element of all this infrastructure, which is digital streaming platforms. And we all know them, right? YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, and of course, Stage Dive. But what is the difference between them, and what really puts them apart? And to better explain that, I wanted to come back to my favorite example with the potatoes. This is like,
potato lover.
I like potatoes overall as a person, but also I think this is a very good analogy with the music industry today. So if you were to sell potatoes, you could basically select to sell it either in a huge supermarket chain or in a specialized store, right? Potatopia is one of the stores that exist for potato sales. And then, of course, your price for the consumer, like the end price of potatoes in Tesco and in Potatopia, would be very different. Potatopia would be way more expensive because they also make meals with potatoes and stuff like that. Your selling price would be lower in Tesco because they will squeeze you. They are very powerful guys who will just tell you, we pay 20 and no more. You would have to pay on top to the retailer such a big one as Tesco, but you wouldn't have to do it with Potatopia. Your cost to produce obviously would be the same, but your profit margin would be vastly different, ranging from 6%, as in this example in Tesco, to 36% in a more specialized and targeted potato chain. Obviously, you would have different volumes, right? In Tesco, you would sell obviously more than you would sell in a smaller chain that is only frequented by people who want potatoes. In Tesco, you would sell in bulk. But still, even in this example, you have 4 times difference between the volumes between Tesco and Potatopia, and your total earning, your total margin would still be larger in a specialized chain. This is an illustrative example, obviously, but what I wanted to...
So does it mean that I sold 4 times smaller amount and earn more money,
Yes.
right?
So essentially, in this example, you sell 4 times less, you have 4 times less efforts, obviously, to make it sell and to produce it, and then you're still making more money. The point here is that these are different channels, and all FMCG producers know about this, and this is how FMCG is building their strategies in the marketplaces as well. So you have a large channel which is awareness discovery. So when you have a lot of people, a huge traffic, a huge footfall, they notice you, they buy you, but they don't necessarily love you. They don't care. Again, this channel is total indifference and carelessness, obviously. And then when you go to chains like Potatopia, that would be the channels where you're making money, because it's the loyal people who are coming there specifically for your product. It is exactly the same with music. You need to understand your channel strategy. You need to understand why you're selling your music and where, right, and why. You need to be aware of profit margin per different channels, per different digital distribution platforms, and what is their capacity. And then, of course, in music, you also have the awareness and discovery channels. And these are the big guys. Okay, YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Music, and the others in the same line. They, as we all know, they don't pay a lot. They pay really pennies, and you cannot sustain any life with this money. So they would typically, however, yield a better chance for discovery. So you still have to use those channels for discovery of the listeners. However, these listeners, there will be a lot of them, but they would be indifferent and very rarely loyal to you, staying loyal to you in the future. At the same time, we do have the profit and loyalty channels. And one of the channels, and this is what we are going to be discussing right after the music break with John, and this is the Stage Dive. This is a platform that would have, for now, a bit lower capacity in terms of listeners, but it will be loyal listeners who will like your music, who will come to this platform to listen to your music, not just some randos for sleepy playlist. And of course, this is the channel that yields better profitability for your music. So what we are, as the I guess a bit of a summary of this discussion, is you should use this storytelling, news making, and collaborating techniques to move and to encourage your existing and new followers to move to the channels, and especially Stage Dive platform, to the channels where you make more money. And this is super important. Instead of spending the money for ads on Spotify, it's the ads that lead to Spotify where you're not making money, you should better be using this instead. And now we have our music break, and I'm happy that Martin has shared the link, so we are all looking forward to listening to his music.
Fan Banger Industria. Da put ni prođeš, nežno ko labelo, ne bi ti zaboravio što si radila. Vjeruj mi da krivi, mi samoga sebe, što nam uzna nemaju tragove labela. Da put ni prođeš, nežno ko labelo, ne bi ti zaboravio što si radila. Jer ti si ta zbog koje ovaj momak više ne valja. S tobom mi noći mirišu na mete I kurtele lende ne ubije me svaki pogled njen ko da ispaljen iz berete Zavarala me ljepoterste glasi Dalmatino stas, temperamena je na mas Ljubav boli više nije ista Bitno je samo da je korinsta Ka i da kupi, djeda za blista Visoki su standardi materijalista Sve ti dobro stoji curo, vrana si mrbeja Ali mobi mi površno, to toga mi ne treba Da pusti prođeš, nežno ko labelo Ne bi ti zaboravio što si radila Vjeruj mi da krivi, mi samoga sebe Što nam uzna nemaju tragove labela Da pusti prođeš, nežno ko labelo Ne bi ti zaboravio što si radila Jer ti si ta zbog koje ovaj momak više ne valja
And that was Martin.
That was Martin, John. Yes, that was pretty amazing.
Yeah, Martin makes bangers.
Yes, that is bangers. Okay, thank you so much, Martin, and everybody. And now we're moving to the centerpiece of this webinar and presentation. John, the floor is yours.
Right on. Thank you so much. Yeah, just introducing myself again. I'm John Bruce. I'm the founder of Stage Dive. I'm going to go off script for a second. Let's get that chat warmed up. I've seen a couple of my friends already in chat. Shout out to Thomas Alexander. But if you're still here, if you haven't fallen asleep or walked away from your computer, go ahead and drop a hello in the chat. Let's be ready. I'm going to be asking a lot of questions. Looking forward to gaining your feedback as we go through these next couple of slides. But really, Stage Dive is built to have a relationship with musicians, and I like to know who I'm talking to. So if you can, if you're near your device, just go ahead and drop a little something in the chat as we get started. I'll be reading those as we go along. Hello, Thomas. There he is again. Okay, we can go ahead and just dive right in. Go ahead and drop those in as we move along here. Okay, so just a quick introduction to the music streaming landscape, and this isn't going to be a mystery or anything different for the rest of you. You already know what this is like, but the current landscape is that there is 710 million users globally streaming music over the internet. It's a $46 billion global market value. So my headline that I wrote earlier about it being $1 billion industry that we're disrupting was a little bit of an understatement. It's much, much larger than that. As you can see, most of that market share is currently held by Spotify. Most of you are already going to have your music on Spotify. You'll be on YouTube or one of the Tencent apps or one of these others. Realistically, though, what Pitch Perfect covered just a moment ago is that in such a large pool with so many listeners and so much music, if you look at the stats about how much new music is released on these platforms daily, it's very easy to feel like you might get lost in that amount of noise. That's the way that so many musicians feel. And one thing that's actually interesting, so I don't work at Spotify. I've never actually laid eyes on these numbers, but hearing feedback from musicians like you is that when you do post a successful song to one of these platforms and you get a whole bunch of streams, something that would usually look like success, something that would usually look like a nice big payday for you, it turns out that you end up being accused of having your playlists botted. you end up being demonetized for one reason or another. So go ahead and drop in chat. Actually, I'm very curious to see what your experience has been with this. If you have a successful song on these platforms, has it translated to a payday? Have you seen any success from your music, from placing your music on these platforms? Has that generated revenue for you as an artist? I'm just looking for a yes, no, thumbs up, thumbs down. Go ahead and let me know. Or any of these other revenue streams for that matter. Advertisement revenue. Have you earned royalty payments from these things? Have you seen any sort of actual success, even though your song might be getting a lot of plays or a lot of attention? And a quiet chat typically tends to mean that nobody wants to raise their hand and say, hey, I've actually experienced success in this area. So ultimately, what Stage Dive is here to do is we have built a tool for you to try to help turn that around, to try to help you keep that attention that you've garnered from your audience and turn that into revenue. Let's go ahead and jump to the next slide. 12 USD from Spotify. That's great, Nanad. Yeah, that's actually a very common story that we hear. So one thing that Nanad said during the entre musician portion of this is that when he started off as a musician, that he hated the entrepreneurial part. One really important piece of this is for all of you to remember that that is a very common thing for all musicians. They don't want to think of their music as a business. But an important piece of this is for me to deliver this message to you. Each and every one of you, as a musician, need to treat your music as a business, because indeed it is a business. So ultimately, you're taking your music that you've worked so hard and invested so much in, you've put in the time to develop the talent, you've recorded the song, you've written the lyrics, you've mixed and mastered it, you've put in all this work and you've posted it to one of these big platforms. Now, ask yourself the question, who is that generating revenue for? So many of us will be very familiar with the fact that this generates revenue for the platform. They are using your music as their product. You indeed are the product. It generates revenue for them, and usually not for you. Now, the one thing that I will say is about all of these platforms, there are a lot of users that already exist there. There are a lot of listeners who could potentially listen to your song. So it's a great opportunity for exposure. I would never encourage you to remove your music from someplace that is gaining you exposure. But what I want you to ask yourself is that if you produce value for someone else in exchange for potential exposure, are you really independent? Or is that really just more of the same of what we've seen from the music industry for so long? Now, in an industry that's built the way that it is currently, where there's this whole revenue model where, these players get to make money and you get to produce the product, it can seem like there's not really a way out of that. The free with ads model, where maybe you have an opportunity to earn a portion of those ads, or, where there's a potential exclusive subscription platform where, they're subscribing just to you. How many different people are users really going to go and pay $4, $5 a month just to listen to a single artist, right? So what Stage Dive tried to do is implement a strategy that was also discussed earlier, which is that we see what others don't. Because where many people see a saturated market where it's impossible to break in, Stage Dive saw an opportunity to create a tool that allows you to capture that precious few moments of attention that you get from this audience that you're working so hard to cultivate, and to turn that into longer term revenue. Let's go ahead and jump to the next slide. So you became an independent artist, and I'm guessing here, let me know if I'm right or wrong in the chat, but you possess a remarkable music talent, honed and perfected through the years of relentless practice and dedication. I believe that to be true about every artist that's currently on this webinar, and also worldwide, those folks who haven't joined yet. Second, you have forged an unshakable bond with your audience, captivating their hearts and souls with every note and lyric. This is the profession of a musician. Now, one thing that I like to say is that there's nobody who's joining Stage Dive because they like Stage Dive or because they like John Bruce. Anybody who comes and joins Stage Dive as a listener is joining because they like you. Now, this is something that many streaming platforms don't want to trumpet, because they ultimately want to be the ones to keep the revenue. But we're here to build a partnership with you as the musician, between you and your audience. So we're very happy to say, when people come to us, it's because they want to hear you. So it's only right that we share the revenue from that attention that's garnered. So Third, you have poured endless passion into crafting your art, tirelessly writing, producing, performing, and sharing your creations with the world. And a core belief of Stage Dive is that it's only fair, it is only just that you retain the value of that hard work. I see Ramona says number 3 especially. That's awesome. Yes, absolutely. So with all of this in mind, now the question becomes, why should your fans listen on Stage Dive? They already have these accounts at all of these other platforms that have already been discussed. Maybe they're already paying subscriptions over there. So the question becomes, why should I actually tell my listeners to listen on Stage Dive instead of listening where they already listen? And that's a very fair question, a very valid question. Let's get into the reason behind that. So we have built Stage Dive as a keep what you catch model. You may not be familiar with this term, but just a very quick breakdown of the way that Stage Dive works is that listeners pay a subscription of $3.99 US dollars. Okay. We take just over half of that. I'll say that again, just over half. So more than 50%, which is $2. And we set that aside for each listener. And then each month we track who it is that they've listened to, and we distribute that out to the artists that they listen to. So they're paying $3.99, just under $4 USD, to have access to the whole platform. And then when it comes to distributing that out to the artists that they listen to, we do it according to how much they listened to each one. And this happens automatically every month. The money is automatically deposited to the artist's account. No games, no gimmicks, no red tape that's going to get in your way. If you gain listeners here, you get paid for those listens. And that's the most important part, because the challenge would be, find me any other platform, any other company that's doing something similar to this for the artist, where we're giving a platform for you to express your music, to share that with the world. And then you'll notice our name is Stage Dive, the idea being that you get to dive off stage and be carried by your fans. We understand they are indeed your fans, and you deserve the support that is garnered from them. Next slide. So the ultimate question is, when I come to Stage Dive or to any DSP, digital service provider, how do I make $1? How do I turn the attention that I've garnered and turn that into actual money? Okay, so on Spotify, and this is just based on what I was able to find on a Google search. You can do the same Google search if you like. On Spotify, to make $1, you need roughly 250 streams. On Apple Music, it's a little bit better. They have a little bit higher payout. It's 125 streams. So your challenge becomes, on these platforms, how do I take these, as Pitch Perfect pointed out, these sort of indifferent listeners who aren't necessarily going to be loyal? Maybe they'll incidentally hear my song. Maybe they'll accidentally come across my song in a playlist. How do I then take those people and keep them long enough to get 125 streams, or on Spotify 250 streams, in order to turn their attention into $1? Now on Stage Dive, since we don't do it per stream, but we do it based on how much they've listened to you over the course of a month, you ultimately need 3 fans to spend just 15% of their time listening to you, right? There are $2 up for grabs each month from each listener that's on Stage Dive. If you garner some of their attention, even just 15% of your time, of their time, then you can make $1. Now, hit me in chat. I really want to know this. Who among here does not have 3 friends that they can go to and say, hey, go sign up for Stage Dive and listen to me on Stage Dive? If we don't have 3 people, I'm talking about your mom, your dad, your brother, your cousins. Okay, I'm seeing, chats are coming in. I have. Yes. I think that each one of us absolutely has 3 people that we can reach out to. And really, if you're playing gigs and you're standing in front of an audience that has already come out to see you, they've already taken a much bigger step in supporting you as an artist. But while you have their attention, that critical bit of attention, how much does it take? 10 seconds to stand on stage and say, everybody who's here, if you want to support the band, go and find us on Stage Dive and listen to us there, because that is what supports us as a band. It takes just a couple of seconds. And if you can get 3 people from a crowd each time that you do that, your loyal listener base on Stage Dive is going to grow, and making that $1 each month becomes $2, becomes $5, becomes as much as you can possibly catch. And there is no limit. If they're listening to you, you're getting paid. Next slide. Okay, so here's the creative spotlight. So what we want to do here is we want to have you write a tweet, because this is an important part of the work for a musician, is to promote yourself to your audience and drive them someplace. If you were going to write a tweet, or I think now it's on X, so I don't know if it's called tweet anymore. Maybe it's called a Twix. I don't know. Write a post that you would post on a social media platform, driving your artists to come and listen to you on Stage Dive. Remember, we're just trying to capture a couple of our fans to go and support us on Stage Dive. By the way, if you actually want to post this to a social, we're at Get Stage Dive. So if you want to leave from here and actually begin posting, you can do that as well. I'll put that in chat. And this is our @ on all social media platforms. Okay, Ann says, fresh beats on Stage Dive. If you're into chill vibes, you want to check this one out. Fantastic. Oh, Ramona, it's kind of a hard question, but this is what's important about being a musician, the ability to promote yourself. Thomas Alexander says, my newest release only available on Stage Dive. Ooh, that's some good stuff. I like that. Exclusivity. Let's see. These are moving fast. Alexander Ivanov says, new music is out. Hit up Stage Dive and let's make this track your go-to for the weekend. Oh, that's awesome. And then add C, exclusively on at Get Stage Dive. Yes. Jerry B says, Stage Dive is absolutely the place where indie music thrives. I could not agree more. Ramona says, my new album is on Stage Dive now. Don't miss it. Okay, wow. I think I might need some help actually selecting one of these. Let's see. So we have, I don't know, Alexander Ivanov. It's down to between Thomas Alexander and Alexander Ivanov. So we've got the Alexanders are in the game for sure.
Yeah, it sounds like that. I don't know, John. What do you think? What's your preference?
Let's see. I might need to say Alexander Ivanov. I think that's pretty awesome. New music is out. Hit up Stage Dive and let's make this your track, your go-to for the weekend. Yeah, that's amazing stuff. I think we're going to go with that one.
Yes, great. So, Alexander, could you please share the link to your music on YouTube in this chat, and we'll play it at our final music break after the segment that John does. And over to you back, John.
All right. So, with all of this in mind, what the current streaming landscape is like, what all of the tools are that are at your disposal, and how Stage Dive fits into that, you might have some questions about what should you do now. So let's tell you exactly what you should do with this information next. First is we want you to join Stage Dive as a listener first. And we know that, it's a subscription model and everything like that. We don't want that to be in your way. So we set up a promo code, which is promo code HAPPY. So if you scan this QR code, go to Stage Dive, sign up for an account, make sure to click the add promotion code button at checkout and add promo code HAPPY. That's 2 free months on Stage Dive. So we want you to get in here and experience what it's like to be a listener on Stage Dive, so you'll know what you're sending your listeners ultimately to come and experience. Now, when I say free, one thing that's really important is there's no such thing as a free stream on Stage Dive. So we're not going to take all these artists that are already on Stage Dive and let people listen to them for free. We're still going to pay out those $2 to each artist you listen to on your behalf. So this promo code makes it free for you, but your support is still going to go to the artists that you listen to on the platform. So again, stagedive.com, or scan this QR code, go ahead and create an account. And then when you go to checkout, click add promotion code and use promo code HAPPY. And that will get you 2 free months on the platform. So please go ahead and do that now. Okay, so after you've signed up as a listener, there are a couple of things that we think you should do next. You should definitely join Stage Dive as a creator. You have this music. The one term that you need to agree to if you're going to come to Stage Dive is you must own the content that you post to the site. That's the single most important thing. You have to own the music because you need to be able to collect royalties on behalf of that content. So all you do is once you're already inside of Stage Dive, you click the little person icon that's up in the corner. That'll bring up a menu, and there's a button that says Request Creator Account. When you click Request Creator Account, you will then have the opportunity to tell us who you are, where you're from, tell us a little bit about your music, link your socials. That's really just so that we can research you, find out about your music, and then we can approve you. And then I'll send you an email letting you know how to log in and begin monetizing and uploading your content onto Stage Dive. Okay. Now, finally, after you've done those things, you must, and this is absolutely critical, you must tell your audience to listen on Stage Dive. Here's an example from one of our friends who joined Stage Dive fairly early on. It's a little punk band out of Los Angeles. They're called This Side of Anarchy. One of the very first things that they did once they joined Stage Dive is they posted to their website this little button with a link that says, "Go listen on Stage Dive." Now, as a very small band with not a massive following, I mean, they're extremely talented, but not a massive following, they were able to, in their first month, make $13 USD just by driving a few of their friends onto Stage Dive to follow them as a creator, listen to their music, and they found amazing success by just doing this simple step. But even beyond this, if you'll go to your socials, tag us in the post, we'll even repost it for you. But let people know my music is on Stage Dive and you support me as an artist by listening here. Okay, now, once they're in Stage Dive, because so much of what we're talking about is just capturing that small moment of attention that you have from somebody and how to maximize the benefit of that, you want to gain loyal followers on Stage Dive. So once they're here, you should encourage them to follow you and then also share your link to other friends. You're trying to continue to grow that audience. When somebody follows you on Stage Dive, one thing that we've built in is that automatically that listener, whenever you post a new track, your new track is going to show up in their library and they'll be notified that there's a new song from you. Again, encouraging them to click the link, listen to your song, and then you get paid when they do exactly that. Because, and I'll keep going back to this, it only takes 3 fans listening to you for 15% of their time to earn $1 that month. So if we keep those fans coming back, or if you're able to capture even more of their attention, it makes it easier and easier to earn larger and larger payouts from Stage Dive as a platform. Now, we do have incentive programs as well, because I know that this is extra work. This is you going to an audience that you've already cultivated. Maybe they're already paying subscriptions elsewhere. Maybe they're already entrenched in using their favorite platform. We understand that, but we also understand that we want to be a tool for you to grow and maintain your audience. So we have these programs where you can receive additional incentives for bringing your audience here. We want to share that revenue with you. So we have special payouts that we'll do for people who really put the effort into marketing their Stage Dive platform. If you're interested in having a discussion about that, then please scan this QR code. That'll take you right to the scheduling interface where you can schedule a meeting with myself and my partners, and we'll go over how it is that we can set up a special affiliate marketing platform for you so that you earn an additional payout when you work with Stage Dive. Finally, one of the things that is currently missing from our portfolio is a mobile app. It does currently work on the phone. Stage Dive works on the phone and it functions just like an app, but we want an actual app in the App Store that ultimately makes it even easier for you to continue to grow your audience. We have a GoFundMe open right now so that you can help Stage Dive get the funding that we need to build out a really robust, really great state-of-the-art app. If you're interested in supporting Stage Dive in that fashion, go ahead and scan this QR code, and that will take you over to that GoFundMe. And just a quick question before we get into the music break from Ramona. She asked a fantastic question. How long does it take to make $1,000 on our platform on average? And that is such a great question, Ramona, because that entirely depends on how much work you put into bringing your audience here. If there are people coming here who are here to support you, then it'll be much faster. If you're just posting your music here and waiting on the discovery algorithm to suggest you, then it's going to take much, much longer. But ultimately, $1,000, you figure if you need 3 fans listening 15% of the time, then maybe if you have 20 to 100 fans listening 100% of your time, then you're going to make $1,000 relatively quickly. It entirely depends on how much you put in to growing your presence on stage dive. And with that, I guess it's time to listen to our contest winner. This is Plane Passenger from Alexander.
Wow, that was pretty amazing, I have to say. Wow, guys, Alexander, thank you so much for sharing this music with us. I think, if anything else, but we definitely have enjoyed today of three very, very good pieces of music. And also, thank you everybody for sharing your music when you were applying for this webinar, because for sure we have listened to all these songs. And I can tell you it's the most amazing album or mixtape that can be created from people who joined this webinar today. The last part of our webinar today is Q&As. So you have posted some of the questions in the chat, and we're going to be answering them in a second. Meanwhile, just to summarize a little bit what we talked about. So we did target and tackle the right mindset, focus, and discipline of the entre musician by Nenad and Jerry B. And we discussed how important it is to be to start with a healthy foundation of the musician in order to grow your career and move forward with success. We did also discuss how to fight indifference when it comes to music marketing, how to be better than potatoes, I guess, how to reach new fans, and we did show you several concepts that we're going to be sharing with you in the handout notes after the webinar. And of course, we have talked about Stage Dive, the most amazing streaming platform ever invented on this planet. And we definitely call you to sign up for the Stage Dive as a creator and as a listener using this promo code, and to get in touch with John, actually, to find out about all the different incentive programs and referral programs that exist for Stage Dive platform, so you can drive your revenue and your income going forward. And now we are coming to the Q&A sessions, the Q&A session, and let's have it, right? I think our back office team is going to send us the list of questions now that they collected through the chat, and we are going to tackle them immediately. But first, maybe while they preparing the list of questions, okay, we have Ramona who is asking, what can help me to stand out more on stage dive? Any tips? Great question.
Absolutely.
Maybe John would answer.
Yeah, one of the strategies that we've seen applied by a lot of musicians that are trying to garner and continue to grow their attention is to, when you have a new album, the instinct might be drop the entire album all at once. And it just fills up the new releases segment of Stage Dive. If you're already on there, we have a whole section just on new releases. But what's worked really, really well is you take each song, release them, say, with a period of time in between them. You release this song and you go and you post about it on your social media with a link to come and listen. We also allow sample listens and things like that. So you continually post to Stage Dive, followed by a post on your other social platforms. And then you just do this over a period of time as you release your entire album. Start with the singles, don't bore us, get to the chorus, give your best foot forward, put that out first and foremost to gain the attention, and then maintain it by giving people more of what they want over time. That helps you stand out on Stage Dive. If you post a lot, you get to appear in the new releases category more often, and that's one of the first things that people see. Beyond that, and I know this might sound silly, but you get your 3 or 4 friends to sign up for Stage Dive and listen to you regularly. That can move you up the charts. And we have monthly, weekly, yearly charts that top, like, here's the most popular songs on Stage Dive. So moving up that list by just having a few friends that listen loyally, that's an incredible way to gain not only the revenue from them, but also other people who very first look to the charts. So sorry, I know this is a long answer, but that's the winning formula there.
That's a winning formula. Thank you so much, John. I do have the next question, and this is directed to Stage Dive as well. Do you guys have a mobile app? Couldn't find anything about it on the website.
Yeah, so right now it's actually a progressive web app. What that is just technical jargon for it works on your phone. If you go to stagedive.com, it looks, it feels, it works like an app. What we're doing is we're trying to make an app actually available in the App Store and on Google Play. This is what the GoFundMe is raising funds for. So that is coming soon. We're thinking maybe middle of this year, we should have something like that launched. But for now, everything works from computer or mobile at stagedive.com.
Thank you very much, John. I think that was a brilliant answer. And the next question from John, could you briefly describe what your agency specializes in? And I assume this is a question to Pitch Perfect. So we'll just go ahead and answer. I think, again, not to dwell too much on the answer, basically we are specialized in music marketing and music promotion. We are absolutely passionate about the music and musicians. We do know we have a very deep understanding of music as an industry and also as an art. Myself, I have been a musician for all my life since the birthday, and then my path crossed with the marketing as well. So I'm bringing a very strong suite of marketing and musical expertise on the table. And then Anton.
Yeah, and I'm about news creating, as I just described, and hopefully you guys will use some of the tools we were discussing today.
Anton is very, very humble, but Anton is actually the PR guy. So Anton is one of the geniuses of PR. You did hear the headlines that he was proposing today. So if you need any music PR, that is definitely the hotspot for to stop by and advance your marketing and publicity efforts. Thank you very much for the question. That was really, really nice of you. Another question, which music genres are already well represented on Stage Dive? and which ones could use more artists? And I think this is the question to John again.
Yeah, early on, we have a lot of kind of the underground styles of music, a lot of punk, a lot of heavier metal. We also have a lot of jazz, funk, soul. Even though they're well represented, I would say that, populating those genres with your music as well, if you happen to fall into one of these, is a great thing to do. We also are beginning to see some growth in American country music. And we could probably use some additional representation there. American country is very popular right now. Also hip hop and rap, which is one of the ones that I would have thought would see an early explosion because there's so many of these artists. There's not a lot of that. So if you fall into hip hop and rap, you'll be one of the few that are on the site. But yeah, I mean, really all genres could use some additional growth. All of these, realistically, there's not going to be a scenario where there's too many already and so your music doesn't get played. Our algorithm fosters discovery. So even if you fall into one of the common ones, still get in here, still put your music up.
Great. Thank you very much, John. That was absolutely amazing answer, and everything is very clear. I wanted to add that podcasting is probably booming also on Stage Dive, and that is one of the ways that we also recommend the artists, the musical artists, to go ahead and increase their presence in the podcasting segment overall in the industry, because it gives such a great visibility, and it's kind of easier to promote, and it's easier to grab the attention of the listeners and put your message across. So this is what Stage Dive is really, really good for. Another question from Anthony: what are the main ways artists can generate income on your platform? Again, question to Stage Dive.
Yeah. Just to reiterate, post your music here and then tell people where to come and listen to you. This is really the only way. A lot of these other platforms built in kind of a pay to play model where you can pay some money for your music to be promoted more widely, or you can pay to be a part of certain playlists. Those things don't work here. We don't have those functionalities here because we think that the best music, or the music with loyal followings, is what should rise to the top. It's much more organic this way. So get loyal listeners onto Stage Dive. Every listener can create playlists and share those publicly. So if you have your fans engaged in this way, that's how you're going to increase.
Thanks so much. I also can spot a question from Ida. Do you offer any online courses for musicians or music marketers? And again, I assume this is a question to the Pitch Perfect. What I wanted to encourage you to do is on the final slide of this presentation, we'll have a few QR codes as well. We are currently working on some of the courses for the musicians that will relate to storytelling, to the news making, and to overall improving your presence in the media and in social media. So I wanted to encourage you, along with scheduling a meeting with Stage Dive and joining the Entre musician community. Shoot us an email and we'll give you a discount. So let's see how it works as well. You will find our email, you will shoot us an email, and we will give you the discount for this type of stuff. And I see that Jerry B just posted the link into the chat. Thank you so much. And also, and this is a really good point, and I wanted to pass the baton to Jerry B, because indeed in Entre musician community there are online courses. Jerry B, do you want to talk about this a little? And you're on mute.
Am I on mute somehow?
Now good. Now good.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I see the volume, but yes, we were blessed last year to create an online curriculum for iClassical Academy in Italy, in which we're not even classical. Most of our community are not classical musicians, but we created a course for mindset, discipline, and focus that was one of the most watched courses at iClassical Academy. So we were very happy about that. And what we did was we expanded upon that, because we feel that, again, Nanad said it earlier, it doesn't matter what genre of music you play. It doesn't matter how old you are or what technology or even platform that you use. And we do recommend Stage Dive, but it doesn't matter what platform you use. if your MDF, if your mindset, discipline, and focus is not sharpened and you're not prepared to do what Pitch Perfect talked about, and everybody, it really falls flat. Just think about it for a second. You could have the most fantastic song in the world. It's the greatest. You mixed it, it's mastered perfectly, but you don't know how to take the next step. That doesn't help you. So that's why we created the course, so that you can know, I have this fantastic song. Now, what do I do with it? And that's what our courses and our community offers. So Nanad, he is the international director. On Saturdays, he's right there like a baseball coach, a sports coach, saying, hey, okay, now have you considered this? This is what you should be doing. On Sunday nights, for those of us who are in the US, I put on the coach's hat and we help you to take the next step and the next step and the next step. And then again, if you don't need any coaches and you want to just learn, then you can just sign up and download the videos and watch them at your own pace. And so then you have the opportunity to teach yourself and go at your own speed. So we're happy about that. Did I miss anything, Nanad?
Nope, absolutely to the point. Because as I was saying, anti-musician first and foremost is a community. So it's the place where people help each other by sharing knowledge, cooperate with each other in creating new music, creating new opportunities. So that's the point of becoming an anti-musician. And of course, there are courses for those who want to take special courses, but it's not mandatory to have special courses to become an anti-musician. It's something that it's a place where you can learn and meet great people, great musicians, great artists, and improve your career in any possible way.
Bravo. Thank you so much for this answer. The questions keep popping in, so I suggest we go ahead and answer a few others as well. And there's a really a bit cryptic question, I'd say. What do you think about songs that became popular solely because of short? It's probably it's a bit of a typo, and I assume this is because of the short content like TikTok or maybe shorts on YouTube or things like that. That's a question from Ivan. I think this is really interesting. Let's go around and start with John, then Nenad, Jerry, and we'll finalize. What do you think about these successes coming from social media and really becoming hits?
Yeah, I think that ties really closely to musical expression, right? You're not only doing what works, giving your audience what they want. If they want short content, give them short content, right? But at the same time, I'm more for the longer form personally. I like listening to longer form content. Also it happens to work better on Stage Dive if there's more for them to listen to. I don't know. There's some really great short songs, so I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, for me, it depends on what do you want to do with your career. If you want to be somebody who created hook and be a one-hit wonder, as it was like back in the days 30 years ago, now you can do a great short, or you can do a great TikTok 40 seconds long. Is it a reel or short or whatever, and be forgotten after that because that's all you have to offer. And usually it gets like that because people identify you with that short video that you have offered on streaming services, but most of the time then you're done. So if you want to really make a living out of your music, out of your arts, out of your songwriting or music producing, it's not going to be a 40-second hook that you're going to create on any of the streaming platform. It's going to be, and I tend to, and John and Jerry knows that, I with music career, there is the perfect example is a tree. When you look at the artists who are successful, you're just looking what is above the ground. You're looking at the tree and the leaves and the flowers and the fruits, and you never look what's beyond the ground. And the root system is much larger than the tree that you can see. So if you put enough work, of course, talent is mandatory, but if you put enough work, enough stamina, mindset, discipline, and focus in what you do, and you grow your root, then the tree will be there and it will be long lasting, than the flower that goes on February and dies within 15 days. So basically, if you want to have a long lasting music career, that's not on the hook that's going to last for 40 seconds. That's my opinion, of course. My personal opinion. It's not advice to you. If you are into something else, please do. That's my personal opinion.
Jerry B, what do you think?
Well, based on this question, I believe that when the streaming services became popular and they were paying so little, it was necessary to make your song shorter so that you can generate more plays or more streams. And so that became the norm. However, the other side of that coin was the fact that, that's what people were expecting for the songs to be shorter, because they said the attention spans, people don't have long attention spans, so you need to make your song short. But I agree with John and Nanad that you have to look at the root. If you want to build an artistry, now if you want to be a one-hit wonder, go for it, boom, boom, boom. But if you want to build an artistry like a Stevie Wonder or a Prince or a Madonna or someone that has longevity, there has to be more roots as to who you are. So even you putting out the 30-second, 10-second commercial of this is what I am, it should always be leading back to who you are as a person so you can showcase your artistry. That's my answer.
Brilliant. Guys, thank you so much for these answers. I think we don't have anything to add. Essentially, this is it. Indeed, it's different forms of art, if you like. One thing is a short form of art on the social media networks. This is entertainment and a very short-lived, exactly as everybody highlighted, very short-lived, but can be huge success. At the same time, longer formats for this, you need more dedication, more professionalism, and more work, I think, and delivering more efforts and your soul into the music. I think we'll answer only two questions, a little bit more, and then we are done. We have a very interesting question, which is, what are the risks of working with major platforms? I assume the meaning streaming platforms. And with this assumption, I'm going to pass the answer to John.
Yeah, absolutely. So the risks that we're aware of are the ones that we see in the news, the ones that we see in the headlines, where you can see even famous musicians with millions of streams, millions of fans, and even they get lost in this algorithm. Even they don't get the kinds of plays and thereby the kinds of royalty payouts that they deserve from their artistry. Notable examples, major original thrash metal band, even Megadeth. Dave Ellefson will post about things like this, and I'll let his words speak for himself. You can Google these things, his comments on Spotify. If you're into blues and jazz, you can look at Joe Bonamassa's comments on this subject. He got into maybe a little hot water for something he posted to YouTube where he was speaking on this subject exactly. Even, I don't know if you know Weird Al, but he makes parody songs. Millions and millions and millions of people listen to these continually. One of the most viral bits of content in the music industry because people share it so rapidly. Even he spoke about only getting $12 in a single year from his royalties. So if you just look to the headlines, you can see how easy it is for even the stars to get lost and how low the payouts realistically are. So what they're shouting and what we're hearing is that even if I've done all of the work necessary to grow this audience and get all of the plays, I still don't have a way to retain the value of that audience. So that's the risk, that you're going to put in all of this work to promotion, put in all of this work to production and putting your music out there, and then still not actually have the value that you need as an independent artist to continue to grow your career. That's the main risk in my mind.
May I say one thing to add to that as well?
Please do.
When I'll just go back to when I was 17 years old. That was many, many years ago. All I wanted was a major record deal. I wanted to be signed by a major label because that seemed to be making it to me. But as the decades changed and we found out the freedom that you do not have as an artist, the ownership of your creative property that you do not have as the artist, the best thing that you can do is be responsible for your career. Don't put the responsibility on a major platform or a major label. You say, this is my career. These are my songs. These are my babies. And I want to create the best space for them. And then you put on your focus and you make sure you look for ways where you can keep creative control, keep ownership of your intellectual property, and move it as far as you possibly can. You don't need a major platform for that. You need a partnership with a stage dive who's going to be a partner with you. They're going to say, hey, this is your song. We're not going to cannibalize your song. We're going to partner with you to make sure your song reaches the audience. But as John said in his presentation, that responsibility still belongs to you. You have to call your friends, text your friends and go, hey, come over here. This is where I'm at. So you can make sure that you're paid appropriately and that you keep your intellectual property yours. That's
You
just
keep
what
what you catch. Yep. Thanks, Jerry. That's a perfect summation of it. Yeah.
Brilliant. Spot on. Thank you very much. And we have a question from Daryl. If artists are getting a large amount of streams on legacy sites that are not receiving much in terms of royalties, then one of the problems is likely a song metadata is a registration issue. What do you guys think about it? John, maybe?
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, yeah. So metadata is the big scary, monster in the closet that most people don't want to try to figure out how to register and track. I'm one of those. I was an artist before I was building platforms, right? So I was never fantastic at metadata and getting everything registered properly. Entre Musician, I know, has some comments on this. They actually have some experts in-house that help with this kind of thing. But part of the other problem is that even if everything is registered properly, some of the major platforms have very strict anti-bot policies. And so if they see your song when you're not signed to a major label, when you're not involved in one of the major label deals, if they see a song pop in popularity, they will simply find all of the bots that listen to that song, whether that's in your control or not, and say, this is a botted song, these plays are botted, therefore you will not get paid. So that's the other half of the problem. Some of it might be metadata, but the major artists even that are having this problem, they've got their metadata in order. They have people at the label that are specifically responsible for this thing. So the metadata isn't preventing them from getting paid. So the question that keeps coming up for me is, if they can do it to them, couldn't they definitely do it to you or do it to me? Right. So that's my input. I'll pass it over to Jerry, I guess.
I think you hit it right on the head. I mean, metadata registration is should be number 1, 2, 3 on your list before you send your music out. Again, it's your responsibility. It comes back to, I'm not giving this responsibility to anyone else because this is my song. And so, yes, when you make sure that all of the metadata is encrypted into your music, you are going to retain the ownership and get the royalties that you need to get, no matter what streaming platform you use.
Yeah, especially people tend to forget, we're living in the streaming services era, but there are also independent radio stations that you need to collect mechanical royalties from, and you need to have metadata sorted out and all the code sorted out in order to receive payments from YouTube and also from all the independent radio station. And also, if you get into sync licensing world, where you going to place your music within the music in the TV industry, you also need to have all the metadata sorted out, all the code sorted out in order to get revenue from your music being played and used in movie and TV industry. So basically, it's not simply a question of streaming services. It's a much larger question why you should need those codes and how to use them, how to embed them and everything else.
Great. And the last question and the defining question, I think, of today is this one. Will be there a recording of this session or a place to download any information shared today? And the answer is yes, of course. Everybody will have an access to the recording of this session, so you can rewatch and reconsider, let's say, to joining one of the streams here. And also, I wanted to really show you the let's say final slide of this presentation, where this is the main call to action. I'd say We do encourage all of you guys to join the Entre Musician MDF Mindset, Discipline, and Focus intensive online course in order to improve your stamina, in terms of, in order to improve your health as a musician and be really, really confident in your music journey and how you prepare for it. We also encourage everybody to shoot us an email. If you snap this QR code, you get to our webpage. There's an email address at the very top. Shoot us an email and we'll grant you a discount for our future courses that will be targeting the content marketing for musicians. And as the main encouragement for all of you guys today, please schedule a meeting for the onboarding discussion from the creator's account with John and his colleagues, his peers at Stage Dive, so that your music career and your music journey will go very smooth and very successfully in the future. I wanted to thank everybody who contributed to this webinar today. I think it was absolutely amazing pleasure to see everybody, all the amazing speakers today. And also I wanted to thank all the participants who joined us today and who were super active and winning some of the creative spotlights today. Guys, any few words in the end?
I think the only thing that I have to say is please remember, if you forget anything that's on this webinar, remember that you are entrepreneurial. You are a business person as well as a creative. Remember that.
Amen.
Nothing to add to that.
Guys, and from my side, please be happy. Yeah.
Yes.
Stay cool.
Yes, that's the best. Be happy musicians. Indeed, indeed.
Yeah.
And John, something about Stage Dive for us.
StageDive.com, promo code HAPPY. Be happy, musicians. Get your first 2 months free. Join, find out what it's about. This is a revolution in the music industry. This is how we change things. We support each other as musicians. Yeah, Jerry's got the t-shirt. These t-shirts are also available. Hit me up. I'll tell you how to get one. But really, join Stage Dive. Get in on this. This is much bigger than just the individuals here. The more people that join, the bigger this can become and create success for ourselves and for each other. StageDive.com, promo code HAPPY.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. With this, we finish. And everybody have a very good, creative, and productive weekend. All the best. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.